Hey everyone, it's Alice, and we are here for our March movie night. So tonight we are going to be talking about some videos, or we're going to be watching some videos and then talking about them for our theme for the month of March, which is organizing. And that might not be fun, but we're heading into spring. Although I look outside, and it does not look like spring here, guys. We have like several feet of snow, and we had just had a huge jump last weekend, so everything is white and beautiful. But we're actually heading into temperatures that are like the snow will melt. Some of that snow will melt this weekend. Heather says, "Do you want to see my no snow?" I believe you. She probably has a lot too. And Jacqueline, I imagine, would have a fair bit too. We've got some Canadians in the house, and we are definitely dealing with some snow. So our theme for the month is we are going to have a challenge called the Super Spring Organizing Challenge. And I think that spring is a great time to kind of refresh and reset and get us set up. And I can imagine that after a month of load, like there might be a little bit of organizing that needs to be done, just kind of getting things all put back together so that we're ready to continue with our scrappy stuff. Let's see, Natalie says we are no longer white over east of you, Alice. She's out in Eastern Canada. And anyone can send their snow here to Ontario, as I'd love my sons to enjoy it over the March break. So I'd be willing. Trust me, I'd be willing. Jacqueline says, yes, I have lots of snow. And Heather says we cannot get out the deck door as the snow is that deep. Yeah. Yeah, but it's that hope of spring, whether you have snow or you are not even celebrating spring. Like if some of our Aussie gals join us either here or on the replay, they're not really in a spring mode right now. They're kind of on the other side of the seasons. But I think that, anytime there's that chance for renewal and to think about getting things in order, that's a good thing. Claire says it's autumn here. So we do have an Aussie gal in the house. I didn't see that you were here, Claire. So yeah, so it's autumn there. But autumn can be a time, like I know here, like kids are going back to school in the autumn. So that becomes another time of reset. So there's certain times of the year that lend themselves to resetting and getting organized. So I've got a couple of videos that are related to that. Like the first one we're going to watch is like super short, but it's from the person that basically taught me what I know about organizing. Like she was the first person that I had seen that taught me about organizing and kind of gave me a method to approach it. Now, did that stick 100%? No, it didn't. It didn't stick 100%, but it's helped. And it's helped a lot. And that's not Marie Kondo. She's the new organizing guru, but I'm going back to old school, Julie Morgenstern. And Julie Morgenstern I first saw on the Oprah Winfrey Show years ago, and she talked about her book Organizing from the Inside Out. I have that book and it's fabulous. So anybody that's like, hey man, I need an organizing book, that might be awesome. It's a really good one. Her method is so practical. And we're going to watch a little video from her talking about her method. And you may get a little sneak peek as to what our themes are going to be throughout the month based on what you see from her video. So I thought we'll start there and then we'll move on. And I do have some stuff for our DigiGals. And we're here to talk, like we'll make some time to talk about some of the ideas and leave some time for that so that I don't have super long video clips for us today. Share screen. Okay, let's do that. And we want organizing. Why does it do that to me every time? There we go.
Question I get asked wherever I go in the world.
Back it up.
The number one question I get asked wherever I go in the world from people who want to get organized is, where do I start? It is intimidating and daunting to start any organizing project. But I developed something I call the SPACE formula, SPACE, which is a very methodical 5-step process for digging through any piles and coming out on the other side with a wonderful organized system. You ready? S stands for sort. Pull everything out and just group similar items. Put like with like. See what you have. P is for purge. Now that things are in their categories, you can see what's extra, duplicate, obsolete, worn out, faded, don't need it anymore. And then you get each pile down to just what is still relevant and useful that you use and love. And the next step is A, assign a home. So take each category and figure out where it's going to live. Which section of the bookshelf are the autobiographies going to go on? Which section of your desk drawer are the pencils going to be versus the pens? So you give every category of items a specific, consistent home. And as you go to put things away, you're going to realize, hey, containers would be really handy right now to keep my categories separated. So on a shelf, you might put shelf dividers. You may want to put labels so that we know these are autobiographies and these are reference books. In your drawers, you may get drawer dividers, and you want to get the most beautiful quality containers. And the reason for that is maintaining your system. You want to be motivated to do it in beautiful, attractive containers. Will motivate you to put things away and delight you when you go to get things. The last step of the SPACE formula is equalize, E for equalize, which is how you maintain your system as you go through the little changes in your job or in your life as we acquire new things and other things that we had are no longer relevant. You want to keep your system up to date. So do daily maintenance to put everything back in its home, ready for its next use. And once a year, you want to do a big decluttering, reorganizing to get rid of the old, make homes for the new, relabel your categories if they've changed a little, and keep your system current with who you are and what you want and what you're doing right now. The SPACE formula for organizing anything.
Okay, let's take that. Let's close that one. And we should be back. Okay, so that was short and sweet, right? Very short and sweet, but she talks through her method. Has anybody actually seen this before? Like, are you familiar with Julie Morgenstern? To me, when she described that process on the Oprah show that I watched, like, ooh, like I think maybe I was just married. Maybe it was even before I was married. Like that's how long ago. Like we've been married now. What is it? Last year was 20 years. That we're coming up on 21 years of being married, 23 years together. So that's how long ago I saw her and I learned about this thing. Too bad it hasn't like really sunk in that time. But it is the one thing that I keep going back to because I find that it actually works. So I thought, every once in a while things can get away. And I think that each step of her process helps us to get to a point where we can, where you deal with it, right? So the sorting, the purging, I hate that word purge. Like seriously, it's like, assign, containerize, and then equalize. And it's that equalizing, that's the one that kind of gets to you, right? Because if you're not on top of that and so stay on top of that, then you find yourself starting back on the sorting again. And that seems to be what happens for me. But I think that it gives you a good method of attack. Now, obviously, if you are tackling digital supplies, you're not really pulling them all out. But I did recently see a really good video from the Simple Scrapper. It's really new. She just posted it yesterday or something, and it was about tackling your digital supplies. Today, was it today? I know it was like super recent. I'm like, oh, that's like right on topic. So I'm totally gonna like share some of that. So I do have some of that to share with us. Yeah, and I thought, the timing couldn't be better. And, I love to make sure that there's something that applies to everybody. So even if you're not thinking about things in that same way necessarily with your digital supplies, like containerizing might not be what you're doing, but there are different steps that you're going to do that kind of apply to this. And sorting is like the first one, right? You kind of have to know what you have and kind of figure out where everything is. And I think that those are the kind of things that apply. So, I think what we'll do next is we'll watch the little video about the digital one that Jennifer Wilson has for the Simple Scrapper. And then after that, it's pretty short. I think, is it like 10 minutes or something like that? 7, 8 minutes? Like, it's pretty short. And then after that, there's actually a series, and we'll watch like the first segment of a series where they're tackling, where these women are tackling a crafter. So it's a stamper, but she has very similar products to what a lot of us might have. They're tackling a crafter's room. I thought it's a well-produced video, and I think that throughout the series, you can kind of see how they take on that project, and they use some of the same steps that you see in Julie Morgenstern's method. So I thought that was kind of great too, because you kind of see, like, even when you look at systems that are really different, like Marie Kondo with her KonMari method of the magic, the life-changing magic of tidying up. That was a big thing. You still go through some of the same steps. She approaches things a little different than a lot of the other organizers do, but I think that that's a good thing. Now, if you are super organized, is there anybody here that's like, I have all my stuff super organized? Like Heather's shaking, no, that's not me. But if you are the kind of person that is super organized, I think what I'd like to hear from you is some of the tips that you use for maintaining your systems that you do use, because that becomes a big thing. So do you go through times where you actually go through and sort things on a regular basis? And do you go through and do that last step that she talks about, like that equalizing, where it's like making sure that new things that come into your space have homes? I'd really love to hear what makes you successful in staying so organized, and give us girls that are struggling some tips. So yeah, let's look at the Simple Scrapper video right now, and then we will go on to the other one after that. We'll chat a little bit in between. Heather says, I have paper, writing stuff, and books all around me. Yeah, my life, man. Like, she's willing to show it. You're braver than me, Heather. Okay, so I will share my screen and we will watch the Simple Scrapper video. I've got like a million windows open. You're all surprised by that, right? Okay.
At Simple Scrapper. Welcome back to the Great Stash Bash. In this video, I'm going to answer a question that I keep getting asked. Is the Great Stash Bash for digital scrapbookers too? Of course it is. Everything we do here at Simple Scrapper is for paper and digital scrapbookers alike, independent of the styles you use, the formats you choose, and the products you use. We're all about helping you move forward step by step and finding the solutions that are simple and practical for you. And in this video, I'm going to help you get started with a little bit of decluttering. I'm going to share the #1 clutter hotspot that I see among digital scrapbookers and paper scrapbookers too. And then I'm going to give you some tips on making some choices and getting rid of some of your digital supplies. All right, drum roll please. This is the #1 hotspot of digital scrapbookers, and I would argue probably almost everyone. It is your downloads folder. Now, this may be called something different on your computer or your device, but we all have this place that things we download from the internet go to. And it becomes this kind of giant black hole of oftentimes confusion. You're not sure what you need to keep and what you don't need to keep. And I see so many digital scrapbookers basically creating from their downloads folder, and I strongly, strongly caution you against this. And that's because it is this black hole, this almost like wasteland of files that have all different purposes. And a lot of the times, the things we download, we don't actually need to keep. It's a transitory space, and oftentimes includes a lot of things that you're going to end up getting rid of. Here's what I recommend. Actively start taking things out of that folder. So let's start here with the digital supplies that I've downloaded. I got some of my old supplies here from the Sweet Shop. So I'm just highlighting these and I'm going to drag them over to this folder called digital supplies. So those are gone and we will get to that in a second. So I'm going to minimize this for now. And I want to go back to this downloads folder because I want to speak to not just the digital scrapbookers, but to everyone here. You need to consciously think, okay, if it's in my downloads folder and I need it again, I need to put it somewhere else. I need to put it in a folder. I need to take it out. I need to do what I need to do with it. And then everything else can just be deleted. So you can see here I have 394 items. I can trust that I don't need any of these items again because I've taken everything out that I do need. And the last thing there were those digital supplies that I just showed you. So bottom line here, I don't want you creating from your downloads folder, and I don't want you storing anything there that you're planning on using again. All right, so now we're in that digital supplies folder, and I want to talk about something else, another challenge that I see kind of getting in the way of really good organization when it comes to digital supplies. And this is just another fundamental, and that's I see scrapbookers keeping their files zipped up. And zip files are a very, very handy portable solution for keeping groups of files together, but there is no reason to keep your zip file. So what I always recommend is taking all of your folders and unzipping them. All I did here was highlight, double click, and it opens all of my folders. On almost all operating systems now, it comes with a built-in unzipping program, and the functionality is typically like that. So you can see here I have all of my folders. I'm going to sort these by zips, and I'm actually going to delete all of the zip files because I don't need those again. I have all the files that I need inside of these folders. All right, now this video is not really about proper digital organization, but I will say one more thing here, is that I highly recommend you use some sort of naming conventions. And for me, I like to use the designer. So we're going to use Tracy Reed. And then I'm going to say slip-ins 1. And these are templates. And so I always do the designer, the title, and then I designate whether it's templates or kits. When you take that time to use naming conventions and name things consistently, you can sort things within your folders, making it so much easier to group like things together and find exactly what you need. If you want to learn more about proper digital organization, then I encourage you to follow the link in the description box below to a new video by Melissa Shannon of Digital Scrapbooking HQ. She introduces you to the Photoshop Elements Organizer and how to get your digital supplies under control. So here are the 3 kits that I have in this example, and I want to talk about making choices with decluttering. And there's really 2 rules I want you to use. The first one is, have you already created with it many times? And in digital scrapbooking, that often means 2-3 times or more. Let's just be real here. And if you've already created with it a couple times, you're probably not going to use it again. Okay? And so we're going to get rid of this one because of that. Now I want you to think about whether or not it is still your style or still in style. Do you still like the product? Oftentimes, purchase or download a freebie that we just never get to, and then it becomes kind of outdated or no longer in sync with the types of supplies that we like to use. That's when it's okay to get rid of it. You just have to move on and know that it served its purpose, whatever that was in your life, and to let it go. And so we're going to get rid of this one. All right, so that leaves one of the 3 kits here. This one is still my style. I really like the products, and I haven't used it for more than 2 items. I've actually only used it once. So this is something that I'm going to keep. Now, as a digital scrapbooker, I know you have far more supplies than that, but I want to encourage you to really kind of take things in those small groupings of maybe 3 to 5 kits at a time and really weigh them against each other and make those decisions based on how many times you've used it and whether or not it still fits your style. Your challenge is to take all the scrapbook supplies that you want to keep out of your downloads folder and then clear out the rest. Before you go, make sure to enter our giveaway for a seat in Refresh. Refresh is our 7-day online scrapbooking retreat designed to help you start fresh in memory keeping each and every season. The next session is coming.
Okay, guys, I'm back. I have a question. Do you guys hear the static? I'm hearing a lot of static as these videos are playing back. You're hearing that too. Okay, I don't know why that's happening, but I'll look into it and see. Like, I'll do a test before the next event and see if there's something I can do to prevent that. So yeah, Natalie says she hears it too. So Claire says, I'm literally drowning in stuff, both personal and work at the moment. Thanks for showing this at this time, Alice. So it's like, you know, I may or may not have those same problems. So yeah, I'll see if I can do something about the static though for the future. We haven't had that problem before, so that's a new one. I don't know if it's something with my laptop instead of the desktop or what's going on. Yeah, but I thought that she addressed some of the same things, and I thought they were really helpful advice. Jacqueline says, I'm going to delete all my zip files. And so if you just make sure before you delete them that you have unzipped them and you've got your other files. But yeah, I think that's smart. It's like an extra way to clear up space on your hard drive too, to get rid of those zip files that, you know, you don't really need. It's just one less thing to look at too when you're searching for the right things. Heather says that the talking was not in sync and it may just be part of the problem. So maybe my connection's just really bad this evening too. At one time it did tell me that my connection was unstable. I'm like, oh, great. So yeah, I think that she brought up some really good things for like, not keeping your supplies in your downloads folder, and then addressing your zip files. And then like I liked her method as she compared those 3 kits so that she could say like, do I need these, and which one do I really like, which one have I not used, so do I really need to keep them all? Because there comes a point where realistically we're not going to go back to those supplies and use them again, because there's always something new and exciting. And I deal with that with my physical supplies too. So it's like these kind of tips, they apply to the physical and the digital world. Natalie says, Digi related, I also delete all of my PNG files that are template related. Should I ever want the separate PNG file again? They're a layer of the PSD or TIFF files. No duplicate file keeping required. There we go. Stuff that I'm not aware of. Although I will say that I do have a little folder. It's probably on my desktop because you guys have seen that before. I do have a little folder of digital scrapbook supplies of things that I would like to use for certain projects. And I think that that's just kind of funny that I have my digital supplies when I'm the gal that hasn't quite figured out Digi yet. Okay, so that is the digital part, and I think that there'll be some good tips in there for people that are a little on the overwhelmed side when it comes to those kind of supplies. You know, Natalie seems to have an idea figured out, and I love that Jennifer had mentioned Melissa's video, so I'll make sure that I share the link for that when I put the replay up here too. So I'll have the link for Melissa's stuff. And I know that she has a brand new class about organizing your supplies too. And of course that relates to Photoshop Elements. So that's really cool. And finally, for the last video clip that I have that we can share, hopefully this one won't have static. Let's cross our fingers and we'll see. But this one, they're actually starting to attack a craft room. It's broken into several segments. We'll watch the first segment. If we want to go on and continue and watch the second segment, we can do that. I can link them all up in the replay page so that if you're like, hey, I want to go see that, you'll be able to click in and go and watch all of the segments together. I just think that it's nice to see somebody that's like, you know, her room is not like, she had a good base in her room. She had good organizing to start with, got overwhelmed, things got away from her. And then, you know, there's a team of gals that are going in to kind of get her back on track. And it's like, wow, that'd be perfect. That's what I need. I need a team of gals to get me back on track. Can they do my laundry room, my bedroom, like all of the other areas of my house too? Do they do that? The storage room? But yeah, I think that by seeing like them go through some of the process with, you know, a real person that has the same kind of real problems that we're dealing with, that's kind of a cool thing to look at too. So we will go there and watch that, and hopefully we won't get too much static. Sorry.
On this episode of Organization Motivation, we meet Michelle, a wife and crafter. She has a beautiful basement craft room that needs our attention. It's been cluttered and ignored for far too long. Come along as we help her get back into her crafting groove. As a declutter coach, my team and I help families and businesses cut the clutter, get organized, and lead a more productive and stress-free life. Come along on our journey as we help our clients and find the motivation you need to make positive changes in your life. This is Organization Motivation.
Okay, this is driving me crazy. Sorry, guys. I'm going to reload this page and see if that helps.
On this episode of Organization Motivation, we meet Michelle, a wife, mother, and crafter. She has a beautiful basement craft room that needs our attention. As a declutter coach, my team and I help families and businesses come along on our journey as we help our clients and find the motivation you need to make positive changes in your life. This is Organization Motivation. I think we're going to have a lot of fun today with Michelle.
Can't wait.
Michelle is an awesome girl. She's a funny girl. She's a character, and she's the most amazing crafter I've ever met. So a couple weeks ago, we had our grand opening. We moved our office to a bigger location, and Michelle and I were working out. We work out together. We're little accountability buddies. So I said, oh, my ribbon cutting's on Monday. You should come. So she made this beautiful flags of all 4 of our logos. So we come in to get ready to film today. And it's the end of baseball season here in upstate New York, and she made these beautiful crafts, not only for the moms of the seniors that are graduating, but for all the senior boys. So she's amazing.
Yeah, adorable stuff.
Yeah,
really cute.
Unbelievable. So she has this beautiful craft room in her finished basement, and she actually used to teach classes there. But then things got a little busy, and she just kind of let the room go. But she's got all this, everything that she needs. She just needs our help tidying it up and maybe creating a couple of new systems. But we're going to convince her to have classes again.
Absolutely. She's so talented.
I think it would require wine, though.
Hi, I'm Michelle Moran, and we're here in my messy stamp room, which I have dubbed the rubber room. I used to teach classes here, scrapbooking and rubber stamping and stuff like that. Deb's here today to help me organize because for the last couple of years, I kind of got pulled away from that. I have 2 kids, and we're always running here and there. doing different things, so I didn't have much time to do this. It's kind of become a catch-all, so I haven't been down here much, and it's accumulated a lot of stuff, and I haven't been able to use it, so I'm hoping maybe Deb can get me back on track and remotivate me to stamp again.
So I'd like to start, Betsy and I were talking, we'd like to start with the desktop first because we're going to use that during the day to do our sort. And I think just getting that is going to make a huge difference for you. You're just going to feel like, wow, because there's really nowhere to work. All of your flat surfaces are completely covered, and we're going to fix that today. So let's start with this nice table that you have here. And if there's something that belongs somewhere else, what we're going to ask you to do is let's just immediately put it away, because we don't want to create mess in other parts of your house. So if we find like Christmas lights, we'll figure out where those go and we'll put those away.
It's only May.
Yeah, that's true. It is only May. Before you know it, you'll be putting them up again. So we'll put things where they belong, get that all cleared off, and then during the day we'll use this as a sort. But it's going to be nice to have that cleared off. And
I agree.
And all of your countertops. All right, so let's get started. We're going to ask a lot of questions because even though I like crafts, I have probably 1/100th of the stuff that you have. So we're going to ask, what is this? What does it do? And you're going to kind of educate us and everybody else as we go along.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So my son's graduating next year, so hopefully I'll be able to get back down here and create some great things for his graduation party. And also Deb's daughter is graduating as well. I think Deb's a little more excited about the crafty things for the graduation than I am. So hopefully with a little more organization and a little clean surface to work on, and once I know where all my stuff is again, we'll be able to put together some great things for our kids' graduations next year. I should probably start on my kids' scrapbooks. They're 19 and 16, so it's probably about time to get started on their scrapbook.
Come on back for the start of our declutter as we learn more about different crafting tools, see some of Michelle's creations, and give a few tips. Follow us on Instagram at The Declutter Coach.
Okay. Okay, so I think that yeah, that static was driving me crazy. I tried reloading the page to see if that made a difference, but no luck there. So I thought that it was kind of cool as they get started. Did you guys want me to play like the second segment, or was it like just a little teaser and you're like, that looks good? I thought it was interesting that they're going to like clear off one space so they can kind of, have somewhere to attack, which is really good. But I was a little surprised when they said, oh, we're just going to go take things and put them away right now. And I'm like, oh, if I started like running everything that doesn't belong in this space everywhere else in my house, I wouldn't be in this space anymore, because I would get to another space and be like, oh, now I got to deal with this. So I tend to keep like a little basket by the door or something, or often I put things on my stairs for my scrapbook room, like on the side, and those are things that need to go down to somewhere else or things that have to come up to the room. And Heather says it helps to have a few boxes to put things in. I have a couple that I use. I've pulled out laundry hampers before, and that can be a great way to kind of just put things together while you're getting through that process. Teacher says, that was great. I need to start on my tables. And she would also love a whole house makeover. That's me too. I think I've got good bones in the house. We just got to see them. Yeah. And Heather says she uses Rubbermaids without lids. Yeah. I think that, it's like getting that, area under enough control that you have some space to work and actually attack the categories that you're going to set up. I think that's always a pretty fun thing to kind of, it's not fun to start, but once you've kind of reached a certain point, you're kind of getting far enough that it's like, okay, I'm in it now. Like it kind of gets messier before it gets better, and you're like, okay, I can't leave it like this. So this is worse. So I think that this is kind of going to be a fun jumping off point for people. Oh, and and Claire says, and not dithering about what to do with your sorted stuff. Yeah. And I think by her having, like, she's got experts coming in to help her, but I've done the same thing, having a friend come in to help me, and I've helped my friend. And so, being able to have a person where you can go back and forth with, they'll hold something up and be like, why do you have this? What are you ever going to do with this? And it's like, well, I need like 10,000 eyelets because they might come back. And she's like, no, Alice, you don't need 10,000 eyelets. I'm like, okay, I'll just keep 500. And I think that it's just having that perspective. And sometimes, because it's your stuff and it's in your space, and even especially when it's stuff that's actually put away, that makes those things the hardest to deal with. So Deidre says, supper is done, catch the rest on replay, good night. Yeah, so I think that the things that actually have a home are the hardest to deal with, because it's easy to look at the things that are out on the surfaces and say, oh my gosh, this place is a mess. But why is this stuff out on the surfaces? Does it have a home to go to? That tends to be my problem. I don't have a home for it. So in that whole space thing, going back to Julie Morgenstern, she does the sort, she does the purge, and then she does the assign. The A is assign a home, and then containerizing, and then equalizing. But it's that assigning a home that becomes the challenge. And sometimes that stuff that's in the drawers, it's not the stuff I really love. It's just stuff that I still have. So it needs to, make way for the new stuff, so I have room to put my new things away. It's all that kind of perspective. But I thought that this was kind of a fun topic. I think I'd like to watch the next one, because there's something in the next video that I think you'll all get a big kick out of. It's something that it's a crafting tool actually, that I had never seen before in my life. And now everybody's like, ooh, what's that? So yeah, we'll watch the next one, and I think that will be fun. So let's have a look here. Share screen. Craft room. Oh shoot, where's the part number 2? Hold on, I gotta pull I'll just paste that in there so I have the right one.
Previously on Organization Motivation, we met Michelle, a crafter who wants her creative space back. Watch as we begin our declutter by tackling her surfaces. So I thought we'll finish this and then we'll kind of start.
Okay.
Or maybe we'll finish this and go right to flat surface. We'll go to here second.
Okay.
Don't you think? Okay. Awesome.
Look at the size of
Oh
the
my
scissors.
God, look at those scissors! I'm like, Betsy's gonna say. Now, what is that for? I've never seen anything like those.
That's for long cuts.
I've never seen anything like that. I've been scrapbooking for years. I never saw that.
I haven't either. No.
That is so cool.
I don't know. These are kind of crazy.
Where would those go? Do you have a place for all of your scissors?
Yes, but they don't fit where my other scissors fit.
So where do you like to keep them?
In the carousel is where I have
all your
my
scissors. Oh, okay, good.
And the big ones go in the drawer right next to it.
Sometimes you get all these expensive things that are really great, but I find really cool stuff at the dollar store. It just was a hanger for belts, and I hang all my different kinds of scissors. You know, the ones that you have to have them.
Yeah, they're down there.
The fancy scissors, yeah, that's what I do. So these are just regular cutting scissors. These aren't even your fancy scissors.
Right.
Wow. Oh my God, look at this, how cute she made. Like, see, you can have all the stuff in the world, but if you don't have a creative eye, you're not gonna be able to make stuff. So this is so cute. Was this for someone? Like, what were you making this for?
I don't know. Just to make it.
It's so cute.
This is a punch. This is actually an ornament, a Christmas ornament punch.
But you turned it sideways.
Turned sideways. But all these ideas are
Wait,
not
show me
mine.
that again.
There's
What's a Christmas ornament punch?
See like that?
Oh my God.
and it's a punch. It's a stamp, and then you punch it as well. But when you turn it sideways, it's a fish.
So maybe we can clean that. Because this to me is like what we call miscellaneous, and we don't allow miscellaneous bins because what happens is they just become clutter. So maybe we can go through and, really just put things that you'll use again. Because like some of these, this might just be better off going in somewhere else. There's Tyler.
Yeah.
So this is her younger son, who's the same age as my daughter. There he is. Look at that. All-Star Hockey. That's amazing. So obviously you're saving this, but were you going to do something else with it? You were going to scrap it?
Well,
or?
eventually I'll probably scrap it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Now, do you have a laminator?
I think so.
Okay, I love laminators. I've never bought myself one, but I don't know, I just love the idea of laminating.
Yeah.
So-
You can't laminate something this big, like with a personal laminator.
Oh, you have to go like to Staples or something. Okay, but this is so cool. So now, where are you keeping things that you want to scrap for Tyler? Does Tyler have a bin and Colin have a bin?
Yes. These
So we have to label them.
Well, yes, we do have to label. I know who's because Colin's on top, and then Tyler.
Okay. All right, good. Do you know if these work? Like, did you just use them this year?
I just used them this year.
All right, good. So how do you want to store them? Now, there's a couple of different things. You can. What we've done before is take a, if you don't want to buy, they have all these fancy things for everything, but you can do things so inexpensively. If you take a big piece of cardboard and just wrap it on the cardboard, we've done that before. Isn't that cool?
Yes, very cool.
Do you have like a box where we can cut out a square piece of cardboard, like almost a rectangle, and wrap them up?
Probably upstairs in my recycle.
Would you mind?
Stuff?
Because we can.
I'll go look.
Yeah, and then
How big should it be?
I don't know. Like, this is a lot. That maybe you won't use much, but like, I don't know. Maybe this, like, if it's like, we might take the side of a box or the top of a box, and it just keeps them neat.
Okay.
Instead of throwing them in like this. Okay, so this, what I want to do is.
Do you want to use my big scissors?
Yes.
Oh, the big scissors.
Where are? Oh, oh, sorry. I know where. Sorry, I know where they are.
Yep. Yeah, those are awesome.
That's why I'm the declutter coach. Or as my mother says, don't forget, Deborah, I was the original declutter coach. I taught you everything you know. Coming up, Michelle teaches us about some of the organizational systems she already has in place and gives us a genius tip. We also get a little goofy. Don't go away. Follow us on Pinterest at Declutter Coach.
Okay. Is that still going to play in my background? Apparently. Okay, so there we go. That is the second segment. And I have to say, I have never seen scissors like that before in my life. They were like so long. I'm like, that's insane. I can't see me ever finding a use for them, but I do own, and sitting right here on my desk, because I'm going to use them on a project, I do have those multi-blade ones from Martha Stewart, and they have like 5 blades, because apparently I'm too lazy to cut 5 times as many times, and this just makes it that much easier to do like fringing. So yeah. They make great grass. That's right. That's, that was what I was going to work on my page, creating a little fringe. And so I've got some of those products out. But yeah, like, it's not like you can't do that with another pair of scissors, just cut more, but these are just easier and they were cool. Yeah, but then it's like making sure that I have a place to put them. So they're here right now, but they do have a home, and they're only here right now because they were in that home previously. So once I find a home, so that's a good thing about organizing, getting your stuff in control, is once you know where things are, it's so easy to use them. And it's actually easy enough to mostly put things back. I find that I don't have a problem putting things away that have a home. It's dealing with the new things that come in, and that becomes a problem. But hopefully by the end of the month, we'll have solutions for that too. So I think that's kind of it for our movie day. Yeah, I think that as we go forward in this month, that we'll do our little declutter challenges. It's going to be pretty informal. You can either share pictures of things that you declutter, you can just talk and share something. Basically, if you're interacting on the threads, that's going to be considered participation. And then at the end of the month, we will have some sort of an organization prize. So that's what we're looking for this month. And that's kind of all for that. I did kind of go through the calendar really quickly in the video, but next Tuesday, the 13th, is our happy hour. We're going to do the draw for our Load 218 grand prize. So if your name is in there because you managed to scrapbook all of the days in the month, then that's awesome. If you haven't gone and entered your name into the draw and you did your layouts for the load, make sure you go and enter those in. Claire says she's feeling slightly motivated. Yay! Me too. I am feeling slightly motivated. There's a lot of other things that are going to be happening, but I think that by saying, hey, Scrappy Sisters, want to do this little challenge with me, it's going to help me get stuff done, and hopefully that will happen for you too. Heather says this will happen when school is done. Yeah, there's always priorities in life. There's always priorities. So every Thursday, there's going to be a little prompt that comes up in our group. I'll be posting the next one up right after this. And Karen says, I didn't see where to enter the draw. I did it all. Yeah, I'll be having that up right after this. Oh, for the draw, for the load draw. I've had that in the email. I can send that out again. I'll do an email for the load. It was in the day 28. There is a link in the day 28. 218 prize. But I'll send out a reminder. That's a great idea. So that is there. And yeah, I don't want you guys to miss it. You guys have done all the work. You need to be in on that draw. Plus you'll get your finisher's prize that way. Okay, so that's what's happening. Heather says, I actually did it all. Karen said, thank you. So that's awesome. And yeah, like I said, if you are the kind of person that has organizing figured out and you're that gal, right, that's got it all done, then one of the things that we welcome you to do is when we're talking about the sorting and the purging and all of these different things, the steps of getting ourselves more organized, you can share your tips that help you to keep you organized that hopefully we can incorporate into our own life too. And that should wrap it up. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry about the static issues that we had in the videos tonight, and hopefully I can have that sorted out before the next one. Claire says, let it go, let it go. That song is so applicable to everything, isn't it? Yeah. And Natalie says, I'm so happy to spend time with you ladies. And yeah, that's wonderful. I'm so happy that you guys were able to be here. And it made my evening, to put a smile on my face. So thank you for that. And yeah, we'll get organizing together. It's gonna be a great month. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.